Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another webinar of the Analytics and AI Association of the Philippines. My name is Sherwin Pelayo. I'm the Executive Director of the AAP. This June, we are celebrating with the Department of Information and Communications Technology, the National ICT Month, with the team Bayang Digital, ang Bagong Pilipinas. And this week, we focus on Pilipinong Konektado, where we emphasize the importance of leveraging digital connectivity and investing in upskilling and reskilling initiatives so that Filipinos can adapt and compete in the digital economy. To formally open this webinar, introducing various tech communities in the Philippines, let us please welcome one of AAP's Board of Trustees, Professor Art Patungan. Prof. Art.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, Sherwin. Okay, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to today's webinar. It's my great pleasure to open this session and emphasize the importance of collaborating with tech communities as we explore the vast potentials of data science, analytics, and artificial intelligence. In today's rapidly evolving technological landscape, collaboration has never been more crucial. The synergy that arises when diverse tech communities come together is unparalleled. By sharing knowledge, resources, and expertise, we can tackle complex challenges, drive innovation, and foster the environment for continuous learning and growth. As we embark in this today's webinar, I want to highlight the significance of building strong collaborative network. It is through this connection that we amplify our impact, not just within our individual organization, but across the entire industry and beyond. We are fortunate to have remarkable lineup of speakers who will share their valuable insights and expertise. We'll have Mike Ogbinar from Data Engineering Filipinas, Sir Joe Berliantes from RUG or R User Groups of the Philippines, Armelin Ogbinar from Gen I Philippines, and last but not least, Sir Bobby Corpus from One Quantum Philippines. So our expert panelists will undoubtedly provide their valuable perspective and how collaboration can drive innovation and growth in our field. Again, thank you for joining us, and special thanks to the speakers for their contributions. Let us make this opportunity to learn from each other, share our insight, and build stronger connections within the tech community. Again, good afternoon and welcome.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Prof. Art, for that opening remarks. So let's, dig right in. If you do have any questions for any of our panelists, please do, post that in our Q&A box in Zoom. Okay, so diretso na tayo, walang paligoy-ligoy. First up is the founder, really. How do you call it, sir? Founder, president? No, the founder of Data Engineering Pilipinas, a very, very active group right now. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Mr. Mike Ogbinar.
Okay, thank you, Sherwin, and thank you, Sir Art. Okay, so let's start now. So I'm Mike. I'm the founder of Data Engineering Pilipinas. In the next 10 to 15 minutes, I'll be walking you through on essentially why you should build a career in data engineering. Okay. So this is actually our introduction to newbies slides, and it's what you can see actually when you join or when you visit our website. So let me first start with the basics. So normally people hear about data science, machine learning, artificial intelligence, but not so much about data engineering. So what is data engineering? Data engineering at the very high level is, well, you can see it actually on the left side of the screen. It's the meme. If we're going to summarize it in one or two sentences, it's essentially to be able to move data from one place to another in the most efficient and scalable manner. Okay, so on the right side, you can see that there is, usually a hierarchy of needs when it comes to data, and the flow is from the bottom to the top. So it's very much similar to the Maslow's hierarchy of needs. And you can see that there are different things that you can do or you need to do with respect to that data. And at the very bottom, no, you need to essentially find that data, extract it, and load it to the right location. You need to transform it to the right structure or format, such that people can start, understanding that data, what it means. And then from there, that's where, some of the things, the more popular things happen, like the application of data science, application of AI, and then eventually to the consumption, where you start doing prediction, etc., etc. Data engineering is essentially at the foundation of this structure or hierarchy. It is tasked with building the data stack to support all of these activities. Ultimately, without having proper data engineering in place, it's going to be very hard to have data that will support all of these downstream activities. So who works with data engineers? So if you've been following all of the recent activities by AAP, one of the major projects led by Sir Sherwin was the formulation and publication of the skills framework, for analytics and AI. And this is actually it. It's a map of the different uh, roles within this industry. And you can see I highlighted not so well, but not enough. The parts where we have data engineer, and you can see that it's essentially the one that is helping out, with respect to the different groups. So if their task is to set up the data infrastructure, they will be the ones to ensure that data is flowing properly, from the source to the storage, and it's continuously live in the right format and in an efficient and scalable manner. So when I say scalable, regardless of the size, regardless of the, what are the definitions of big data, regardless of the size, the speed, the veracity of the data, etc., it will be there such that whenever the people that needs to consume it uh, would require it, the data will be there. So they work with a lot of different roles within the organization. Especially as I mentioned, they work with at the foundational level of the data hierarchy. Given this, what skills are important to a data engineer? So if you saw the previous slide, they work with a lot of different roles. They work with the data analyst, the business intelligence, the data scientist, even data governance, the data stewards. It's really iterative in nature because they need to make sure and work with each and every one of them such that regardless at which part of the pipeline the data is properly being managed. So you can see here on the left side, this is the typical data engineering workflow. So I mentioned already that essentially the role is to move the data from one place to another. Actually, that definition, it's very simplified. Moving of data from one place to another implies a lot of things. One is being able to identify where data is generated, so the generation of the data. Being able to set up and identify and prepare the storage, what is the infrastructure that will be used to store this information, and then creating a pipeline that will connect to the source where data is being generated and be able to extract that information and load it to the storage. So that process is, we call it the ingestion step. Once we ingest that data, we need to transform it to a form where consumption can happen. Sometimes data is in a very raw format. For example, if it's from, let's say, operational database, the way IT has developed an application, sometimes it's very raw and very technical in nature. It will not be understandable by people that will be consuming it. So, what do you mean by that? So, for example, uh, let's say, uh, let's say that the data is in text format. No? It's raw text. If, for example, the analyst, they do not need the raw text, maybe they just need some information about the text. No? Maybe let's say it's an email, but what they just need are uh, specific entities within that email. Let's say the names, maybe the information, such as, let's say if it's a banking email, let's say it's the account numbers, etc. So being able to prepare that data such that it's going to be usable by the final users, and to fit into the storage data model, that's another step. So we call it transformation. And then the preparation to the actual serving, that's another step. The serving step, that's where it is actually being uh, prepared for use in terms of analytics, business intelligence, machine learning, or even being sent to downstream applications. So normally we call it a reverse ETL. It can be like another application or another database. That's another like step in the pipeline. The undercurrents, you can see that there are other processes that needs to be taken into account. So for example, if you're going to move data from one place to another, but that data includes private information, sensitive information, then we need to take into account security, right? Let's say we need to think about data management is another thing. So there are a lot of things to think about when you talk about data management. How will data be like transferred from one place to another? Is that going to be encrypted? Is that going to be in a specific format? How are you going to connect to the source? Is that going to be through API, through flat files? No? Data operations will be essentially looking at the operational resiliency of the data pipeline. How is it going to be supported when something fails? No? What is the robustness of the code, that's going to be deployed in production? How often is it going to be run? If there's going to be an SLA put into place, for example, let's say a business will dictate na, oh, okay, I want my analytics by 6 a.m. every day because it's important to my business. So then we need to make sure that our data pipeline would have an SLA going back even up to the source, right? So how is that going to be handled? Data architecture is another thing. Sometimes the data, like sources of the data, it's completely unknown. Maybe it's something that you inherited, or maybe there was a change in terms of the vendors. Then you need to think about how to map it. So architecture is one thing, and then another would be creating the model to understand it, right? So what will be the technology stack that will form this life cycle, and then what will be the actual data model, the structure, the schema to represent all of that. The orchestration, I kind of talk about it a bit when we talk about the data operations. How are we going to support the multitude of data pipelines, especially if some of them are dependent from one another, right? And then lastly, of course, the software engineering. So we need to think about, when you code the data pipeline script, sometimes it's written in scripts, sometimes it's written in other languages. We need to make sure that there is proper software engineering practices in place. So the movement from development, testing, and deployment to production, code repository, code checking, etc. So that's another angle. And there are a lot of other skills that we need to think about, right? So communication, understanding the domain, because the technical skill is one thing, the domain knowledge in terms of the data is another thing, and then the understanding of the architecture is another thing. Especially when we start looking at the data. Who needs data engineers? That's another thing. So this is, the slide essentially tries to map out what the industry landscape looks like. And I try to cut it into different views. On the left side, this is a research from McKinsey back in 2017. This probably has changed, but essentially, one good like angle to look at is how digitally mature an industry is, and probably that sector has need of data engineers. Why? Because if a company is digitally mature, no, they have more IT systems, they think around digital, then most probably they generate a lot of data. And if they generate a lot of data, they want to take advantage of that data. And if you can if you want to take advantage of data, then you need data engineers to collect them, store them somewhere, and make sure that they are usable. No? If they don't have that, it's going to be very troublesome to your, if they hire any data scientists and data, analysts and analytics people. Actually, what will happen is that if they hire an analyst, that person will be forced to become a data engineer. So these are like areas of opportunities for you. Another is that you can look at the top players. Why? Because the top players in the industry, regardless of whatever specific domain that they play in, they will want to improve, right? Continuously improve, and that means taking advantage of the data that they have. Data will be something that will be very unique to an industry. Sorry, into a will be very unique to a business. Why? Because each business would have different context. They will have different customers. They will have different circumstances. They will have different architectures, no? And they will not be able to really take advantage of that and maximize it if they do not look at their data. No? And all of that begins with having good infrastructure in place. Otherwise, it will not be scalable. I mean, definitely they can like hire a lot of interns that will manually gather all of that data, but it will not be efficient. It will not be scalable. Okay, so let's look at the data engineering gap. So I already mentioned about the data, the data hierarchy of needs, right? Most of the requirements that needs to happen is at the bottom, which is the collection of the data, the movement of the data, and the storage of the data, and then the exploration and transformation. All of which will not happen without data engineers. But this is where the gap happens. If you listen to what's been, very popular in the past 5 to 10 years, and even now, right? It's always at the top, right? The data science, the analytics, and more recently the artificial intelligence, the machine learning, which is fine, which is good. But of course, the gap there is that no one is looking at the data engineers, and this is what we want to be able to address. It's one of the key reason why we started together with Sherwin and all of the key players in the AAP and the analytics industry. We looked at, okay, so this is a gap that we want to be able to address. How do we get more people to look at the data engineering career path? Because we need more of that. We need more of this skill. Now, the more people that knows how the workflow happens, and what are the things that needs to be taken into account to be able to properly set up a data management in an architecture that will create and deliver that data that all of this top downstream processes need. No? Your analytics, your reporting, your machine learning, all of these are data hungry processes. No? But what will you do if your data is in photocopy printed Excel sheets, right? Nothing's going to happen. So that's what we want to address. So then we ask the question, is data engineering for you? So let me give you some very high level stuff about data engineering. This one was a question I raised to ChatGPT back in 2021. You can probably still try to ask the same question, but I think the prompt was around, what are the reasons to become a data engineer? So definitely there's high demand, especially data. It's the very basic, no? It's the oil. And it's only going to get worse now. So people will want, businesses will want, organizations will want more data. So finding more data is there. So it's going to increase in demand. It's lucrative because no one is going into this career. It's an essential role. It's challenging. It's very challenging. It will require continuous learning. This is like the average, well, just looking at some of the job sites now, the average salary, and it's one of the fastest growing. No? But let me, show you some of the posts in the data engineering group. Yan. No, this is some of the telling stuff. No? So these are some of the posted opportunities in the group. So you can see some of the example salaries, some of the example technologies, some of the example work locations and work setups. No? Uh, the point here is that it's a very flexible career and there's a lot of rewarding experiences. The challenge here is that you need to learn so much, which is, I would say, the same thing with all of the new technologies. Actually, any digital career path, you need to learn so much because most of the things that is happening right now has just, well, recently occurred. Like for example, if you're going to be, an expert in ChatGPT, that's only just recently happened, right? And it's the same thing, no? With most of the technologies as well is in data engineering, especially in the cloud space. Okay. So how does joining Data Engineering Pilipinas benefit you? So I highlighted 6 things. The first one is skill enhancement. We do a lot of sharing of training material, um, and training material which are mostly free and open source. Networking, so we are a slowly growing group and there's a lot of opportunity to network and connect with people that might give you more opportunities. Staying updated, so there's a lot of discussion in terms of new technologies as well as skills. So lots of things, opportunities for you to learn, not just the skills, but also, the latest news around this industry. Problem solving, definitely. There are so many problems to look at when it comes to building a healthy data pipeline. And it will really, scratch that itch and keep you up at night, when you try to solve these things. We are also part of a global community, and I'll slightly talk about this later. But if you know PyData, we are officially a PyData group. Um, and of course, and this is what I want to highlight, it's also a source of inspiration. There are a lot of people that share their stories within the group that come from different contexts and situations. And it's really inspiring because you can see that they've, the different situations that they come through, they were able to transition to this career path and they were able to meet their own levels of success. So some key programs that we're running right now within the group, no. But before I talk about that, the key principles that I aim for or we aim for are just 3 things. No? The first one is we want to aim for accessible quality learning and open resources, meaning we want the learning materials to be free as much as possible and to be high quality. And accessible, meaning it comes in all forms of modality, meaning it's some of it are in text, in videos, in practical applications. We also aim to drive meaningful community engagement. It's not just sharing of links, but we want to drive discussions, drive engagement, and build relationships within the community. And the last one is we want to build an actual community where you are allowed to grow, no? And growing entails failing, experimentation, getting feedback, which is I think it's where Data Engineering Pilipinas does a lot. So here are some things, and the when I started, we only focus really on these 2 things. The first one is the development of our website. The website holds all of the links that we've been sharing with each other. It's all around, free materials, free links, free videos, etc. And it holds a set of roadmaps that we recommended, or at least the popular roadmaps with respect to data engineering. With this, we were also able to expand it to other roles. So it's already included data analyst, data science, even machine learning, deep learning. It's all there. No? We also created a lot of joined other platforms. So we're primarily in Facebook groups, but we are also present in Discord, LinkedIn, Reddit, as well as group chat. um, YouTube as well. No? So we're kind of everywhere. So initially we started here, and then some of the people within the group volunteered to start up other initiatives. So the first one is this year we started our mentoring program. So the idea with the mentoring program is that people can step up and volunteer as mentors, and then the mentees, they can reach out to these mentors, and then they can sign up and then match together and discuss now, work together in terms of their journey. So that's one. Another is that so this one is being driven by one of our moderators. His name is Phil. The other one is a project being driven by Sandy, so one of our moderators also. It's called the Data Masters now. So the Data Masters is essentially a copy paste of Toastmasters, but the idea is to focus more on a public presentation of your projects, interviews, handling interviews. So we do a lot of, or every so often we run meetings around this, and then the members present and people comment. No? Um, and then more recently, we became a partner of DataCamp. So DataCamp allows a program called Donates, which they partner with communities to provide free accessible learning. So essentially, they give us DataCamp licenses, which we give out free to the community um, through a registration process. So essentially that. So besides the already free learning materials that was provided, books, etc., through the website, we also partnered with DataCamp. We're trying to reach out to other online communities, but these are the starting points. And so far it's been I think positively received. So, but the point is it's still all aligned to the key principles that we've been aiming for. So some statistics for DEP, just as of June 2024, we are currently at around 28,000 members, around average of 15 posts per day. We're scattered around the Philippines, and so a lot are in NCR, but we also have a lot in the provinces. We're mostly the young age, and then and then we aim to partner with a lot of different communities, no? Kasi we believe that it's not really just us, no? It's the digital community. So we partner with a lot like-minded groups, and we try to support each other, do our best to support each other's initiatives. And there's a lot of professionals and career shifters and students within the demographics. So it's very nice. So we also do meetups, both online and offline. So we should do our meetups, online meetups by Discord, and then online we did this I think early this year. We'll try to do another one, maybe in the next few months now. It's usually just sharing of stories, but we'll try to do more technical ones soon now. Um, so just to summarize my presentation, what is Data Engineering Pilipinas? Data Engineering Pilipinas is a community for data engineers, data analysts, data scientists, developers, AI and ML engineers, and users of closed and open source data tools, methods, and techniques in the Philippines. So we primarily started with data engineers, but there's a lot of people that are different skills and wants and focus areas. We kind of adopted them. Data Engineering Philippines is also a PyData group. So PyData is a global community that's very, actually this definition, I just copy pasted it from PyData. And if you don't know PyData, PyData is the one that is sponsoring the following projects, no? NumPy, Matplotlib, Pandas, Jupyter. So they are really, in the open source space, which is really inspiring for me, because their goal is to open source the ability to work with data, to the learning skills, the data literacy, etc. And that's essentially it. If you want to know more, you can visit the website. So it's dataengineering.ph. And if you have any questions, GPT-4o can answer them. No, just kidding. So yeah, that's for me.
Thank you very much, Mike, for that very, comprehensive, discussion about not only about data engineering Pilipinas, but also data engineering. So actually, sa audience natin, if you were really listening to the presentation of Mike, to the discussion of Mike, may hugot yon, hindi lang sinasabi ni Mike. Na parang sinasabi lang niya. We share that na parang yun naman kalimutan ng data engineers. Kailangan niya din naman ng data engineers. Kaya I think one of the reasons then why Data Engineering Pilipinas was formed was, really for to get some recognition naman na, hey, we're here. You also need us. And it's a it's a growing community.
Yeah.
So I guess the
Actually, sir,
invite also. Yeah, go ahead, Mike.
yeah, I just wanted to comment also on that. No, the funny thing is, actually, data engineers are happy being quiet. They like being the ones that are hidden and behind the scenes. So in my mind, I'm trying to like raise them up, so to speak. No, but they're the ones that, oh no, don't.
Ang mga silent ano yan, silent workers. 'Di ba we
Yeah,
said na mga data engineers parang we're the Marie Kondo of the
yeah.
analytics and AI world. We find joy in dirty data. Yun ang trabaho talaga natin. So, that's it. I think everyone, again, if you are, interested to be part of Data Engineering Pilipinas, they have a very, very active Facebook page, Facebook group, and yung Discord. Actually, I haven't visited the Discord, channels, for quite some time now. But thank you again, Mike, for discussing about data engineering and Data Engineering Pilipinas. Okay, now let's move on to the more sexy. Ah, pati ba yung speaker natin diyan can be ano din, can be said as ano din, sexy. Then, we have the co-organizer, of course, of our user group, Philippines. But he has taken over, of course, the, main organization. Ayan, nandiyan may support sa'yo si Michelle. Joe, nandito din si Michelle.
Sa DEP siyempre.
Of course. Okay, sige. To talk about our user group, Philippines, please welcome Mr. Joe Brillantes. Joe.
Hello, ayan. So, good afternoon or good evening na ba? Medyo madilim na dito. So, good evening to everyone. So, I am Joe Brillantes. So, I co-organize the R Users Group Philippines. Yun. So, oh wait, my, ayan. So currently, our users group is not my full-time job, so volunteer lang yon. So I currently lead the data and analytics team at Friesland Campina, or more popularly known here in the Philippines as Alaska Milk Corporation. So our users group Philippines, so yung objective namin basically is we advance the use, education, and development of R. Pero a lot of people may not know about R. So what is R? So essentially, very, very shortly, it's an open source programming language for statistical computing and graphics. So for those people who know R, or who may not know R, so that is what R is. So it's a statistical programming language. So specific siya to statistical programming language. Okay. So this is a statement. No? So R is the most popular programming language for statistical computing. So why did I say that? So if you've been in the data space for quite a while, so there were a lot of discussions about Python and R. No? So, but essentially, they're not really, though they are compared with each other often, they're not actually comparable. No? So, why? Because Python is basically a general programming language. No? So so it's a general programming language, while R is a little bit more niche. No? So it's a programming language for statistical computing. No? So the what do you call this? The next comparison to R, the closest comparison to R would be the SAS. No, would be SAS. So yun yung what do you call this? Yung talagang comparison ni R. No? So these are the top programming languages in 2023 according to IEEE. No? So in their spectrum uh, website, no? So, and then in that article, when they discuss about the top programming languages, I really like this quote, no, because basically this quote tells you about the strengths and weaknesses of R, no. So essentially, R is used in big data. So it became prominent because several years ago because of the prominence of big data. No, so it's powerful. Yes. It's not so easy to learn. Yes. Uh, so and why it's not easy to learn? It's because you have to think in vectors. No? So for those people who think in vectors, like for example, math majors or stat majors, it's easy for them, no? Kasi they think in vectors. Pero for those people who do not think in vectors, no, so it may not be easy for them to pick up R. No? So if you're going to ask me, so for example, when someone joins my team, and then they don't have any programming language background, or depende kung ano yung background nila in terms of their academic background. Pero more often than not, I would actually recommend them to use Python, no, than R, because it's easy. Python is easier to learn. No? Now, so parang, okay, so R is powerful. It's not so easy to learn. Why would you want to use R? No. Well, basically, why would you want to use R these days? No. So basically, R is used in academic research. No. So for example, if you want to use an algorithm that was developed from the academe just last year, it will not, most likely it will not be in SAS, it will not be in Python, but it will have an R package. No, so that's why you would want to use R. No? So that's why you would want to use R. Yun yung advantage niya, no? So if it's a bleeding edge statistical algorithm, most likely it has a package in R. So what can R do? So here is a notebook, no, that I use, no, to introduce R. So just like in Python, you can also do data engineering. One of the things about R is that R handles data natively. No? Natively, no. Unlike other general programming languages, you need to install other packages so that it can handle data. No? So, pero for R, it handles data natively. No? So from the get go, it will load it. It will realize that it's in what do you call this? In uh, it's a table. No? So yun. So you can use it for data engineering. No, you can use it for exploratory data analysis. No, so these are some of the graphs. Like for example, if you want to think about like, so what does my distribution look like? No, so the data that I'm showing you are actually motor vehicle thefts in Chicago. So you all know. So for example, if you want to look at, so normally that's how data analysis would start. You would look at exploratory data analysis. You would want to understand what your data, what how your data is distributed. No? So is it kunyari for this one, it's double peak. So why is it double peak, or why is it bimodal? Uh, yun, no? So and then how is it distributed location wise, no? So yun. And then so you can do exploratory data analysis in R. You can also do diagnostic analysis in R. So for example, if you want to run, so this one, the question that I'm trying to answer are, yung motor vehicle thefts ba in Chicago, are they, what do you call this? Are they randomly distributed? Meaning, they randomly occur in Chicago. So, yun yung question. So, essentially, I ran an analysis and it says na no, it's not randomly distributed uh, in It's not randomly distributed sa Chicago. No? So you can do diagnostic analytics or inferential statistics. No? So you can also do temporal analysis and forecasting. No? So for example, for this one, I'd like to understand what do you call this seasonal is motor vehicle theft seasonal? Are they increasing or are they decreasing? What's happening here? No? So you can also do that in R. And then, of course, you can do spatial analysis and predictive modeling. No? So, for example, here, no, what I've done is basically I mapped, so I heat mapped, as in literal na heat map, no? Kung nasan yung, what do you call this, motor vehicle, where there are higher instances of motor vehicle thefts, no? And then you can also do predictive modeling. So what do you call this, so in the Philippines, there's a similar data, pero it's not updated anymore. So here it's more of accidents, no reported accidents. So before I've done what do you call this? After I've done the analysis, I've also created parang what do you call this? Uh, Machine learning model na we're in, depending on where you are where you are in, well, most often it's in Metro Manila. So where you are in Metro Manila, it will basically say na, oh, you are entering, kunyari, a high motor vehicle accident area. So that's it. Okay. So that is R. No? So what is our users group? No, so our users group basically is a community that promotes R. No, so and that is the programming language that we are promoting. No? So however, even though R is the unifying theme, no, across the organization or the community. So these are on your left side. You can actually see that some of the topics that we've discussed in the last 2 years. No, so it's not we're not just talking about R, no? So we can talk about forecasting, we can, COVID-19, data visualization, software engineering, AWS SageMaker, because the members of the community, even though they use R, they also encounter these things, no? So topic modeling, integer programming, so yun. So even though na what do you call this, we do discuss about our users group Philippines is not just what do you call this bounded within R. So we actually discuss a lot about data and data science. So we were established in August 2013. No? So it has been we are 10 years old. No? So we're if I'm not mistaken, we're quite old in terms of tech community groups here in the Philippines. No, so uh, there's more than 1,900 members right now. So and then we are approaching by the end of this year we will have more than 130 community meetups. So yun. So a lot of our meetups right now, so since the pandemic, a lot of the community meetups are actually held online. No? So I think there are only three uh, scheduled na we do meet up face to face, but a lot are done online, no? So or virtually. So there are advantages to having it virtually. A lot of people have been joining us even outside of the Philippines, no? So but they're Filipinos, but they're outside of the Philippines. So depending on where they are in the time zone, they can join us, no? So yun. The other one is what do you call this? The other one is sometimes we are also joined by people who are not Filipinos, but who are interested in the topic that we will discuss. So yun, that's one. We are also a member of the R consortium. So the R consortium is basically a consortium of our users groups across a different across different countries. No, so yun. Yun. Okay. So we do the community meetup every third Wednesday of the month. Yun. So every third Wednesday of the month, we have a community meetup. We've been faithful doing that at least monthly since August 2013. That's why we have more than 130 community meetups because we meet up every month. No? Even though even during the pandemic, we were able to switch to online. No? So and we've been online quite ever since. No? So ever since the pandemic. No? So sometimes that changes. I think from the last two meetups that we've had. In May and June, our speakers were coming from the US. But pero both are Filipinos, both are our users. But they were working in the US. So the community meetup became Saturday morning, no? Kasi that's when may overlap with the US time zones. So sometimes it changes, but more often than not, it's the third Wednesday of the month. We announce it very early on if it's going to change, no? If it's not going to be on the third Wednesday of the month. Yeah. So that's it. Thank you very much. So if you're interested in the what do you call this in the community activities of our users group, no, you can look at us or you can find us on Facebook, no. So you're on facebook.com slash rugph. So that's where we announce the activities. Sometimes we announce what do you call this? We share articles. We announce activities that may not be sponsored or maybe not be led by our users group, pero it will be interested. The community. Our members would be interested, and then so that's one. And then the other one is we are at meetup.com. So that's when that's where you RSVP. So at meetup.com. So you can find us there. So meetup.com/, our user group Philippines. Yun. And then if you're interested in the how R works, there's the collab.research.google, that one. No, so you can actually see the notebook that I used for this evening very quickly. No, so if you're interested in R, you can play around with that notebook. You don't need to install anything. It's in Google Colab, so you'll be using what do you call this virtual compute. No? And then I'm also if you want to know more about our users group or generally anything data, I guess. So I'm on LinkedIn, so you can also reach out to me there. I think that's it for our users group. Hopefully, we'll see some of you in one of our meetups. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Joe, for introducing our audience sa our user group Philippines. I think first question, nag-hire ba kayo? Are you hiring? I
Saan?
forget to ask
Sa
Mike also.
company?
Yes.
Sa company, not in the Philippines. So no.
Oh, okay.
So what do you call this? There's an open role in Malaysia. So yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay, sige. Joe, there's a question dito. I think he's very Asian Arsenal is interested in the Jupyter notebook. Is this the one in Google Colab? The
Yes,
one is asking.
so
Okay.
if you what do you call this? If you click on I think the leftmost what do you call this QR code, if you take a picture
Mhm.
of it or if you know, it will lead you to the Google Colab. So you can what do you call this? You can look into it there.
Sige. So even I think he's also asking about the size of the training data set, the model selection. Um, I think it's part of that na din ano sa Google Colab.
Yeah. So how big is the data set? So for that one, it's very small. But if you go at the Chicago motor vehicle depths, if you take a Google there, so the city government of Chicago actually has their data set available. So if you want to play around with a bigger data set, you can. What model selection do you use for your data set, sir? Grid search. Uh, so for that one, no, I did not. No, so do we do grid search cross validation or k-folds? No, for not for that one. No. So pero for the one that I've worked on the, what do you call this, on the um hindi mo motor vehicle theft, so motor vehicle accidents sa Philippines. um so normally I use k-fold cross validation, rather than grid search kasi medyo matagal yung grid search. So and then also, um what do you call this? And then depende, I guess, if I'm using hyperparameters, I can I can do a grid search. Pero most of the time I do not do grid searches kasi nga ano, very mabigat siya. So I try to be a little bit more intelligent on the hyperparameter search space. Yun.
Joe, in terms
Um,
of I guess topics that you host, no, in the meetups, are they meant for beginners, intermediate na, or advanced in data science? What usually are parang the prerequisites of, those who want to join RUG PH? Parang
wala
kailan
namang
ba namin
prerequisites.
okay. Kailan ba
Wala
ng
namang
mga statistics
prerequisites.
na
Wala naman. Wala naman prerequisites. So, pero what do you call this? We have to admit that some of the topics can be advanced, no? Kasi a lot of the speakers are volunteers. So of course, kapag volunteer yung speakers mo, you cannot really assign to them a topic, no? Kasi syempre nag-volunteer na nga sila, then you assign a topic to them. So yun, so it can be quite advanced, no? So for example, what do you call this? Those who are when COVID was running, no, or when COVID was the heydays of COVID, no, one of our speaker was basically Professor Kaiton, and he talked about how what do you call this? How the Philippines computes reproducibility of the virus, no? So it can be that advanced, no? And then it can also be very friendly to beginners, no? So for example, I think this year, last January, we've had a discussion or sort of a panel discussion that Mike attended, no? Or Mike attended as one of our panelists. We discussed parang kunyari, how do you leverage if you have several experience na working, how can you leverage your experience so that you can switch to a data career if you're interested, no? So we've discussed those things, no? And then and then I think the one that is coming on July, yung nakaplano, it might still change, pero yung nakaplano is basically if you are in if you've just graduated or you will graduate very very soon, tapos and then you're interested in a data career, how would you prepare? Parang ganyan. So, yun. So, yun. It can be very depende siya kung what do you call this? Kung sino yung speaker. Pero we try to cater uh to to our members from beginners to advanced.
All right, thank you very much, Joe. There are other questions in the Q&A. If you just like to type in the answer, I think they're very much interested, in the data set that you actually presented. But thank you very much again, Joe, for spending some time introducing our audience to our user group, Philippine. Right. Okay. Next on our agenda is, so now we're now moving to AI. So we started with data engineering and then data science with R. Let's now move on to generative AI. Let us all please welcome Ms. Armelin Obingwar, the founder of Gen AI Philippines. Okay. May game kami usually hinahanap kay Armelin. Parang where in the Philippines is Armelin Obingwar? Ang hirap niyong yan, hagilapin kung nasan si Armelin. Okay, Armelin, good evening.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much. Nice to meet you, everyone. So let me share about, generative AI
Philippines or Gen AI Philippines. So we're very new actually. We just started around February and then hosted our first event for Meetup just this April. So it's very new in the space, especially with tech communities. But what we really initially think about is that a lot of things happening with AI and generally, and we want to see how we could help other people, especially with trying to upskill from this field, because we know that it's everything is going fast and a lot of things are happening with the space. And of course, a lot of tools have been introduced since the chat GPT, and then a lot of other things coming in that we don't know that it would come. And now people are asking, like, are we going to the AGI, or a lot of things, a lot of questions, and a lot of actually discussions, even on different platforms such as Reddit, where you actually see a lot of posts like this, like asking about whether their job's gonna be replaced by AI, or the other way around. So it's like there's so much things happening in the space. And of course, one thing we really see about is that Philippines could also be one to like go with what's the emerging technology, especially one of it is generative AI. And of course, I do know that some of us are already like upskilling with how we use ChatGPT, how we use other tools that generate stuff like coding, right? Text for emails, a lot of things, captions. So it really changed a lot, especially as a developer, right? Like it parts of our development process sometimes. And of course, some of them are saying that we're not yet gonna be replaced, right? Unless the way we, some of the business reviews like articles, they think that the one that will replace me actually is that those people that are not using AI like tools, for example, with their work. So it's really part of how we now do the things. So I think for this one, a lot of posts were posted on Twitter, Facebook, like people getting like pictures of different personalities, or the Hollywood actors using Midjourney and other text to image tools, such as this. So which really are going to some of the issues, let's say deep fake. A lot of things are where a lot of questions in terms of ethics, like how people do get the data, and so on. Like it's really like something opening with more debate about it, and regulations is one thing that's being now pushed forward, especially with how generative really really fast at this point. And I think some of the people also had some discussions even on news right now about deep fakes, some photos that kind of like misleading, and elections are coming in. Maybe Gen AI would probably give some like big role to how things are gonna be, especially with misinformation. So there were like things that we need to like see in this space. And that's why we started generative AI from that. And then and a lot of people are seeing that new jobs are coming in, um especially let's say prompting, right? And how we use it. And then of course with we're still new. I think one that I would see that from the past events that we hosted on the meetups, that we see a lot of questions about people asking about ethics, safety, jobs going to be replacing, or how do we see about Philippines catching up with this emergent technology, especially the companies, startups, or other industries. It's really disrupting a lot of things, and we are still on that early phase of that. But we do have some people really attending our first three of the events that we had for the meetups. And most of the discussions are really on the side of mix of people, non-tech background. Some of them are actually now using, Gen AI tools and that. And with that, Generative AI Philippines really more on community driven, really promote education about this. And of course, we want to really talk about really more on the side of misinformation, like how, generative AI is being used about it, or other, developer tools that needs to be, teach upon. And of course, I think just to really have this very straightforward with our core principles at this time as well, is that I know a lot of things are Gen AI right now is really for everyone. Like even if I don't know how to code, I can just use, ChatGPT and type so much things and do something about it. So I really see that it's not just all of us are actually users of it. So we do see that some people might join in the community that doesn't no background in technical things. And that's why we want to really, slowly educate from there. And of course, trust is one thing, right? That some people are asking a lot about how do we say about, data being used to train these models and a lot of things that, very interesting questions, right? And they're very curious about it. And the last is really the part where creativity comes in, like how people, see other industries being discussed about it. And I think with our initiatives right now, we do have mostly workshops and meetups that we start on. And most of our workshops are really pretty on the developer side this time. Um because we feel like also, that's one thing. And of course, we recently have like a partnership with AAP as well. This is for the validation side of, the some that's this also one adapting the curriculum for generative AI. And the way people really interacts with it is that everyone is open actually to really help update. And of course, things are really pretty well with how a lot of educators are actually joining and registered for this and other industries. So I think we really gonna see the era where everyone is wanting to really make sure that upskilling is open for the non-technical and the technical developers are and so on. So I think for the next events that we had is really like this one, really more on the workshops. Because we feel like some of the companies right now are adapting to generative AI, and slowly we are hosting some of these events that we feel like that's going to really help a lot. Hopefully at the start. And of course, next is really on the side of talking about those conversations, let's say AGI, or also talking to some of the foreign, international, startups that are developing at the forefront of generative AI, because we wanted to put, education more on the side, on the front as well, with these discussions. And of course, there's many more. We are still new, and I think it's interesting to see how things are going on with this space. And of course, this is also the recent one that we had. We talk about the ethics in generative AI, and especially with a lot of people joined for this discussions that lead about it. And of course, we are now actually partnering with, if you guys know about deep learning AI. So everything is like really put together collaborations, not just the Philippine side, but talking with other foreign organizations, so that we could, we are, as the Philippines are actually at at the center of generative AI as well. And of course, I think that's pretty much actually with my slides. So thank you so much for listening as well.
Thank you very much, Armelin, for that, presentation about Gen AI Philippines. As you said, you've just a pretty new group, but the work that you've done, definitely we're following you sa Facebook, diba? There's a lot of things that you have actually already done. Ano ba? Nag-question pa si Brickster. Parang hindi kayo nagsama sa sa AID, yes. Open pa daw sa volunteers. Mag-volunteer ka na Brickster. Yan, nandiyan naman si Sunny, tsaka si Mitch Ison. Papayagan ka niyang join. Overtime daw yan sa StratPoint. Okay. And I'm actually yun. I think you mentioned this. We're very thankful for the Gen AI community in joining a validation workshop that was it just Tuesday, ano? Tama, it was just this Tuesday that we had a validation session with Tesla to create a micro competency standard on the use of generative AI. The intent really was to start having this micro credentials within TESDA that TVIs or tech voc institutions can start teaching or be guided on what they should teach about generative AI. And it's not even that technical, diba? It's like the micro competency standard starts with understanding first what is generative AI, and then basing on your need, what is the tool, what is the Gen AI tool that is appropriate, for what you need. And then it will tell you how to log in, to create an account, read the fine print, the terms and conditions, select a subscription method. And then after that, it focuses na on prompt engineering, which is really the core din naman talaga of Gen AI. It was um I was a bit hesitant, at first when we had that validation workshop. I felt that baka konti lang mag-contribute. It was a 3-hour session. I was thinking it probably is going to end after 1.5 hours. We ended talaga 3 hours, and I think we filled that micro competency, standard with really all of the details needed. So we're actually excited to launch that. Let's make an event out of it, no, with Gen AI Philippines. Let's make an event out of it with Tesla. It's one of the outputs also of the newly created Philippine Skills framework. Okay. um I mean, yun nga, sabi ni Armelin, there's so many activities. You definitely need volunteers. So let's answer the question of Brickster. How can they volunteer sa Gen AI Philippines?
Yes, sir. So actually, we're gonna be opening this week also the volunteers. Apologies for the delay for that because we were trying to, things like how to set up those kind of things. And yeah, we're gonna be having that as well within this week. So if you're interested to volunteer, feel free to do so. To have more and more workshops or events or meetups that we can host in the future as well.
Do you have members ba outside of Metro Manila na? Or, okay.
Actually, sir, we do have some people from Davao, Mindanao, other areas. We were really surprised na from this current few, early phase of January Philippines na nagkaroon kami agad ng mga provincial, interest. So we were seeing na they were requesting na what if there's January Philippines in different regions. So I think it's really, different areas. We're really open as well.
Sige, yan. So, I mean, just to reach you again, they can just go to your Facebook page, Gen AI Philippines. Although pag nagsa-search, ang dami lumalabas din na Gen AI Philippines, ano? So, just make sure that it's the green logo ng Gen AI Philippines. That's the group that you'd really like to join, okay? So again, thank you very much, Armelin, for joining us and introducing Gen AI Philippines to our audience. So yan yung logo ng Gen AI Philippines. When you search it in Facebook, there's going to be several pages that has the same name, Gen AI Philippines. But when you see that logo, that's the official one there. Okay. Sige, moving on to our last but certainly not the least of our technical communities. Now, this goes way beyond analytics and AI. If you think, AI is kind of esoteric, ito, you need some level of uh kind of understanding then on I mean to understand this really new emerging technology. And as I understand it, they were also part of a previous meetup with our users group, kasi parang kumbaga this is really the next thing na after analytics and AI. But I'll let the president of One Quantum Philippines to discuss it more. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Mr. Bobby Corpus. Bobby, over to you.
Salamat. Can you see my screen?
Yes, we can. Yes.
Salamat, Sharon. Yeah, so invitation to One Quantum Philippines. Yeah, so just a brief background about myself. I'm Bobby Corpus, an IT architect. So that's my day job. My background is in physics, mathematics, and computer science. Um, I founded this group about 2017, and we're still growing. We're just about 700 plus members in Facebook, but the real active members are just a few. And I'm also a member of the Quantum Technology Board of DOSTP Shared. And most recently, um, I was also elected as a vice chairman, where Sherwin is also the chairman of the one of the subcommittees in the DTI, Bureau of Philippine Standards on AI and quantum computing, quantum technologies. Yeah, so what's so let me just give you a brief background. But why is it that quantum computing? What's the excitement there? No? Okay, so the thing is, quantum computing is supposed to theoretically um, crack all of the encryption that we have right now. Okay, so for example, if you're shopping in Amazon, no, shopping in Lazada, or whatever transaction that you are using right now, whether you're using Bitcoin, blockchain, okay, all of this are based on just two technologies, RSA and elliptic curve. No? So elliptic curve is used in blockchain, in Bitcoin. RSA is used in usually in a browser. And this has been the standard set by the by the National Institute of Standards in the U.S. just before they learned that it can be cracked by a Shor's algorithm. So without quantum computing, a 2048-bit encryption can be cracked in 300 trillion years. Okay, so but with quantum computing, especially if you already have the fault-tolerant quantum computer, then it will be cracked in about 10 seconds. Okay, so that's the reason why it's very important that companies need to move now to what is known as post-quantum cryptography, because the nation states already getting your information, even if they cannot read it, they know that they can read it once the quantum computer is there. Second, so we know that whenever we exchange information and it's private, we want to encrypt it with what is known as a symmetric key. But for me to give my symmetric key to another person, either we meet face to face, or I had to encrypt this with RSA or elliptic curve. But we know that those are already vulnerable to quantum computing attacks. So quantum key distribution is one of the ways for you to exchange uh, your symmetric key. And another one also is called post-quantum cryptography. And so there are so many things you can do in quantum, and because quantum is how nature behaves. No? So, for example, we always this is my favorite analogy. Water that's in the mountain will eventually uh, end up in the sea. Whenever we feel cold, no, we assume a position where the amount of energy or heat that is dissipated is minimum, and it's the same also with quantum systems. No? So if that's the case, then you already have a way for you to minimize your whatever function that you want to minimize, no? As long as it's uh, as long as it can be encoded in binary. Okay, so this one here is like is an encoding of the traveling salesman into a quantum annealer, and then when the annealer reaches the minimum value, you can just map back your answer, like like you see here. You can see you can map back the answer into your original problem. And the thing about quantum annealing also is that uh, if you compare it with traditional optimization, usually you have a hill climbing. So you climb a hill, you determine if you're at the top or determine if you're at the bottom, and then from there you can determine which among those valleys that you have come across is the minimum. But with quantum annealing, using the concept of quantum tunneling in quantum theory, it will just tunnel its way into the minimum. Okay. And then this one is really nice because this one is also used in cracking the encryption. It's like the brute force of quantum computing. So we know that if you have a dictionary and to find Sherwin's name there, and assume that there are a million entries in the dictionary, then it takes about 19, logarithm base 2 of 1 million, 19 iterations for you to determine if Sherwin's name is there or not. But what if we reverse the process, right? I'll give you the phone number, give me the name of the person. No? And the thing is, suppose you don't have that information. I mean, it's not sorted, it's unstructured. How would you, in how many steps will it take you in order for you to find the name of Sherwin? No? So in classical computing, and if you have a million, then the average is about 500,000. That's the average. But in the worst case, you have to take a look at 1 million of those entries to determine if this number, who this number is. But in quantum computing, you only need the square root, okay? The square root of number of steps, no? So for example, 10 to the 6 is the square root of that is 10 to the 6 over 2, 10 to the 3, it's 1,000, right? So only need 1,000 steps to find the name you're looking for. And this is like a visualization of what's the square root look like, no? So if you have a square, then the square root is just that line, no? So imagine if you do a brute force, then you have to examine each one of those circles. But with a quantum computer, you only have to examine the square root, no? Just one row, 50 in this case, no? And the way it works, and this is really the thing, this is really the reason why we want to educate the Filipinos about quantum computing, is it's a different way of thinking. So in traditional programming, you have this for loops, while loops, right? But this one here, it's different. When you try to find something, you're trying to rotate a vector, no? And you need to, in order for you to, you really need to understand how it works, because it's a different way of thinking. It's all vectors in quantum computing. And as you can see here, there is this, you know that you have found the answer is because the probability of getting that answer is very high, no? And the probability of getting a wrong answer is minimal. And that's one thing also about quantum computing, no? It's different from 1 + 1 where you get 2, no? In quantum computing, you do 1 + 1, you can probably get 1.5 or 2.5, okay? But you do this many times and you get the expectation or the average, then you get 2. So it's a different kind of thinking. And yeah, quantum computing is very much used also in machine learning, artificial intelligence, because at the heart of any machine learning algorithm is optimization problem. No? They're trying to optimize a cost function, and quantum computing is very good at optimizing things. No? So here you can see the machine learning algorithms, and here you can see that Grover's algorithm, whether Grover's algorithm is used in them. No? So Grover's algorithm is the one which I showed earlier with a square root of n speed up. And you can see here that if it's quantum data, it means that you can load as much data as you can, compared to classical systems, which I'll explain in a bit what that means. So, for example, here simulation. Simulation is also one of the I think it's actually the reason why quantum computing was conceived, because they wanted to simulate nature. They wanted to simulate chemical reactions. And to simulate, for example, this one here, a 47 spin 1/2 particles, it means that it's a particle with 2 levels of quantum levels. You need about 2 to the 47 bit to record a state. No? That's a very big number. It's about 20 terabytes. No? But if you have a quantum computer, 20 terabytes is just 47 qubits. Okay, so it's the logarithm. It's the logarithm of 2 to the 47, right? So that's quantum computing, right? So who are we? One Quantum PH. So we are a local chapter of a global organization called One Quantum. It's a community of enthusiasts, students, researchers, nah? And our mission really is to democratize quantum computing. But I know it's very hard. Like, for example, we only have a few. We really want to be like how many? 28K followers, like the data engineering. That's our goal. But right now it's quite hard. Huh? But we want to democratize quantum computing, and we want to be inclusive as much as possible. So we don't want to discriminate. No? Even if you don't have any knowledge in quantum computing, or you can help us. There are many ways to help an organization, and doing quantum computing is one of them in our organization. But if you're really very good at web development or creating posters, graphics, then we welcome you. Okay, and at the same time, we will also teach you the concepts of quantum computing. So in the Philippines, we are registered as a Quantum Computing Society of the Philippines. So that's who we are. And what are our activities? So initially, it was all meetups and webinars. Before the pandemic, we had meetups face-to-face. I think it was every week we had a meetup, and but there are only a few people, okay, like 5, 7 people. And now we're doing quantum computing workshops. So and also we attend conferences on quantum computing, but we also will have our planned quantum computing regional conference either this year or next year. And we are doing lecture series, lecture series for students, and also there's a lecture series for faculty. And there is this project of ours where we want to create materials, like learning materials, so that quantum concepts can be introduced as early as possible. So we have this partner in Europe who is doing that. They're teaching superposition with the square roots and all that in grade 3. I don't know how they do that, but I'm really interested in that. And this is a hackathon this was our first hackathon that we did in the Philippines, and it's in Cebu. And yeah, so let me just show you. I'm not sure if I was able to share my, but let me just show you this this video of the hackathon. Sharon, can you tell me if you can read hear the sound? Yes, that's the surprise of asking. We are happily partnered with Ashley so these are students and University of San Jose Recolatas in Cebu. And so aside from hackathons, we also do the lecture series for the faculty. So by the way, that hackathon in Cebu, it was actually it was a long preparation. In fact, we prepared about uh, more than seven Saturdays because we have to teach them the concepts of quantum computing, and one half of that is all math, and the other half is the quantum computing part. And the programming part, surprisingly, is just one Saturday. So that's the thing about quantum computing. It's a different kind of programming because you you first begin with an equation, and then you transmit that into a translate that into a program. And and here, this is the lecture series we had for Bulacan State University. It's actually the first, and there are more in the pipeline. We have technological TIP, and then we will have one in MSU IIT in Iligan, and also University of the Philippines, Tacloban, and there will be one also in the USDP in Cagayan de Oro. Yeah, so this one here is 12 Saturdays naman to, no? It's more in depth. It's really based on on the on the textbook on quantum computing by Nielsen and Chuang. So it's really deep. Yeah, so this one, the pictures you see there is the culmination activity, and we did it in the ASTI building in UP Diliman. And here we held our first workshop in quantum computing in the Adventist University of the Philippines, and we were also invited by the by the Computing Society of the Philippines. There was a two tracks there, parallel session on quantum computing. And yeah, so, and the thing about quantum computing is that it's very new, like all over the world. And it's good that we are already engaged in this kind of activity. So that's the reason why we get also invited to different conferences. And this one here is actually a quantum summit. It's attended by Malaysia, Indonesia, Philippines, Singapore, and Thailand, in preparation for the year of quantum, which will be next year. And this guy here and this guy here is a member of One Quantum, so we sent them there, and they're actually also here attending our session. And so this one is the UN International Year of Quantum, and we're happy to be a partner of this initiative, UN International Year of Quantum Science and Technology. Yeah, so it will be next year. The whole year will there will be a whole year of activities that we will well those partners will do, including us here in the Philippines. So yeah, so it's really exciting. And so now, if you want to join, uh, yeah, so actually we are also looking for volunteers now. So this is largely a volunteer organization. People come and go, people become active, and then people become inactive. Uh, just that's just the way of life. But if but there are some volunteers or I mean, some people really have that volunteer spirit that they stay on. Okay, probably they will become inactive because of probably circumstances will change. No, but you can really see that there are some people who are really active, and our organization is meritocratic, so which means that we recognize, no, the organization recognizes the effort of these volunteers, and like for example, we send volunteers to international events, okay, uh, paid for by the organization, okay. um, but of course, not everything because it's very expensive, so we just pay for the fare, and so already sent two people. One was sent to Korea. We paid for the fare, and the other one was in Thailand. Yeah, and yeah. Also, if you join us, you will also have the your network will also grow. You will meet other quantum computing enthusiasts locally and also around the world. Uh, but if you're also really into research, we also have what is known as the Quantum uh, Research Fellow, where you can do research, and one of our experts will be the one to guide you. And at the end of that of your term, will be a paper that will be published with your name on it. Okay. And yeah, so if you want to join us, please reach out to us. Um, our process of joining is still not defined fully, but yeah, you just reach out to us, and then we'll figure out a way how you can join us. Yeah, so that's it, Sherwin.
Thank
That's
you, thank
us.
you. Yeah, thank you very much, Bobby, for taking some time to introduce One Quantum Philippines, quantum computing, quantum technologies to our audience. I mean, I think one of the starting questions siguro for this is, where do we even start learning about quantum? Like for example, if you do want data engineering or AI, usually we start with computer science, IT. For data, I mean, for data science, it's about statistics. If you
Yeah.
really want to start with quantum, what's kind of the prerequisite knowledge or the starting point to learn
Yeah.
about it?
Well, there are two camps. One is one camp is let's say that mathematics is overrated. So they want to learn quantum computing just by programming and looking at circuits and gaining intuition. So I mean I also respect that kind, because there are some people who are just really good, at when they see things they can already figure out, and that's a skill I don't have. The skill I have is the other kind, which is begin first with the mathematics, and then and from there I can understand how things work. Like for example, in order for you to understand quantum computing, probably the minimum mathematics that you need is linear algebra. Okay, not necessarily the matrices. Okay, like, as long as you do algebra and can understand the computation, then you're fine. Complex numbers. So interestingly, complex numbers has as a real and imaginary, right? But the imaginary there is not really imaginary because complex numbers are real. No? In quantum mechanics will not work if complex numbers don't exist. So which means that the imaginary part of complex numbers is as real as it can get. That's really it's amazing. But yeah, to answer your question, minimum is uh, some mathematical maturity, as they call it, and uh, we have this algebra. Algebra. If the algebra here is not commutative, you cannot. If you multiply A and B, it's not the same as B and A, B times A, and complex numbers, and also just plain persistence. You need to have a pencil and paper, and just do the calculations, and that's how you understand. And of course, reach out to people who have done it before, and we will gladly um, help you.
Yeah. So Bobby, also now speaking also about, so we talk about skills, the competencies. As you know, we've just recently launched yung skills framework for analytics and AI, where we have mapped the mga roles, career paths for data science, data engineering, AI. What can we expect siguro? I mean, if we go into, say, quantum computing, quantum technologies, ano yung mga typical job roles and then career paths for those people who's going to be here? Definitely, I think there's research, the research part. But yung mga corporates ba, they are in need of mga quantum computing talent?
Oh, that's a really good question, no? And is it okay because someone here in the audience is
Okay.
creating our competency framework? Is it okay if I can ask him to speak? His name is
Where
Dylan.
is, of course,
Dylan.
hold on. Dylan, where are you? Okay, Dylan's, okay. Dylan, go ahead, go.
Hi. So hi
There you go.
everyone. So hi, my name's Dylan. I am the director for collaboration and partnership. So just like what Sir Bobby has said, so I'm the one who's drafting for the skills framework for the quantum analytics. So actually, that spoiler. So actually, there's two perspectives to that. There's pure quantum computing, which is more on academic research, and that's forwarding the field of emerging technology. But there are already expected applications and are there are already working applications in applying into the industry and how quantum computing helps in one security. Number two is optimization. For those who are doing operations research right now, especially for say industrial engineering, those doing statistics, we can use quantum computing in improving those decision support systems. That's mainly on the prescriptive analytics. We can also improve predictive analytics in terms of what we call hybrid quantum neural networks. So we're looking at the improving AI engineering in terms of quantum. So it's not just merely a pure quantum field. We're looking at an overlap of the existing fields that we have right now and adding quantum to that. So that's a very exciting development we're looking at in the framework of quantum computing with other existing emerging technologies for industries. So, yeah.
By the way, Dylan, remind lang kita, nandito si Michelle, kailangan mo i-renew yung AAP membership mo.
Yes, I think nagbayad ako.
No, no. So Dylan, are you actually creating a curriculum na for this? As far as having quantum computing being taught in schools natin.
Yes, we're actually developing curricula in multiple levels. So we have curricula for those who are starting even in high school, senior high school level, those starting in college, then even for graduate in industrial points of a starting point. So we do have combining it with the skills framework that we're expecting and competency framework for quantum, and yeah, and multiple starting points. So, but I think we are eyeing to finish that around the end of the year or mid of next year.
Yeah, we'll definitely, look forward to that, working with you, Bobby, and of course si Sir Elmer on this. I still owe you, a meeting with DICT. We've mentioned about, featuring quantum computing as part of tech trends. I think during the latter part of this year, DICT is going to have another round of tech trends sessions with all of the new emerging technologies, and with one of the tech that we told them that we need to feature is really quantum computing. I think like what Bobby said, it's really just started around the world. There's really interest there, even with ISO. Kaya sabi namin, wag na tayong pahuli. I mean, we kind of let ourselves fall behind with an analytics, kind of a bit behind with AI. Wag na tayong pahuli pagdating sa quantum computing. I mean, this is something that is really the next, generation. And I think also, also for our audience, again, the topic might be esoteric, na you might need some understanding of physics, di naman, but we learned AI through the movies, di ba? So if you're actually interested to learn about quantum computing, there's one TV series that I can recommend. It 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 tells a bit about, quantum computing. But if you have subscription to Apple TV, watch, the Dark Matter TV series. It kind of gives you an idea of what quantum computing is. But actually, if you're familiar with the concept of Schrodinger's cat, it's a starting point. Okay, ng quantum understanding ng quantum computing. But again, thank you, Bobby. Thank you, Dylan. Also,
Welcome.
Dylan will be seeing you on the summit, di ba? You mentioned that you're
Yes,
going
I
to
will
be
be
there.
there.
Okay, I'll be there. Okay, sige. So, thank you again, Bobby and Dylan, for introducing quantum computing, quantum technology, and One Quantum Philippines to our audience. Okay.
Thank
At
you.
this time, I'll ask everyone again to kind of open their cameras. We'd like to take a photo. Hopefully, Mick is not driving. Mike, ay, sana hindi pa uwi pa lang siya, no? Si Mike there. Um, and then, let's take a photo lang muna. Dylan, can you open your cam? Ay, may picture ka naman sa akin. Sige. Sino talaga nagda-drive siya, no? Si Mike. Ay, nawala na pala si Armelin. Okay,
Who's
sige. Let's
Army?
take a
Oh,
picture.
okay.
Wala pala siya. Okay. Sige.
Ayan.
1, 2, 3. All right. Okay. At this point, I'll ask our
Yeah.
President, AP President Michelle Alarcon, to okay, have a question with our panel.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yes, first of
Sige.
all, uy Joe, magpakita ka. Gusto kong makita yung reaction mo pag tinanong kita. Pang Miss Universe question, no? First of all, I'd like to thank all our community leads here and representatives. Thank you for all that you do. We know what it feels like. The AAP started as a very small community, as you may know, and we would like to make sure that we also support and keep you motivated in whatever form that may be, kahit sa webinar lang po at not through other financial means that we can support. But we would definitely want to be kept updated on what you guys are doing para po we make this also an extension of your respective community. So thank you for leading and spearheading all these initiatives. Marami pong salamat. And then because of that, I really wonder, and this is really more of a personal question also, no, na not from necessarily from AAP, but in the spirit of becoming Bayang Digital. Kasi yan po yung aspirations natin sa Philippines, no? Although we have been, we started mobilizing and organizing these communities on our own, really to pursue our interests. Maybe it started really to find like-minded people and then connect and share knowledge with others, no? And it's only up to this point na nakita natin there's really a significant or a sizable amount of people who are also here to support us, and gusto natin din nakakasama din sila as we progress as a community. The nature of communities are really voluntary. Unless as I know Python Philippines is a formalized entity, and AAP also is now a formal entity, but we also started like a small community. But still, it is really purely voluntary pa rin, no? So I wanted to ask each and everyone sana if you think overall, no, tech communities will be more of a norm in the tech industry, because there will never be a time na mauuna or makakapag-catch up ang formal venues or platforms for learning and sharing knowledge, no, among practitioners and even aspiring practitioners. So what do you think? And I have a follow-up question there, which is if you think that this will be a norm or maybe even really necessary, how should the government, such as through the DICT, because it's technology, how should DICT support tech communities in general? If I may start po with Sir Bobby.
Okay. Thank you. Yeah, I guess nauna talaga yung siguro yung community, no? So for example, dito sa quantum, meron ding may isang movement ang tawag grassroots quantum computing, no? So lahat ng mga community sa quantum computing parang ino-organize nila, ano lang, parang meeting lang, tapos ano parang ano lang sila, yung they just want to know anong ginagawa ng iba't ibang ano. Tapos they are also well funded, no? So even one of my one of our he's also here, no? Yung one of our members was even given a grant to go to the Netherlands, no? Plane ticket and accommodation ang sagot nila, no? So that's really good, no? So probably that's the answer to the next question, no? Probably the ICT should support us, no? Not in some form, no? Na to encourage us to grow more, and yung kung pwede na din yung financial support, no? If hindi naman lahat kasi kayang mag to travel, na for example mag sila ng some meet up or conference in another part of the Philippines, no? They can probably give some to people who are really cannot afford, no? Like for example, yung sa case ng isang member namin, mahal talaga yung plane ticket papunta dun sa Netherlands. So I mean, in a small way, small scale. So ganun yung naano ko.
Thank you, Sir Bobby. Si Joe naman.
For DICT. Sige, what do you call this? So, currently, well, grants. Kasi parang yung nagbigay ng grant sa amin is sa our consortium. So, sa US pa siya. So, yun, I think that's one. I think that's parang an easy win, diba? Parang it doesn't, parang yung grant namin, I think was like maybe 20,000 pesos lang for the entire year. So, yun. So, that's one. Tapos, what do you call this? Well, if, for example, uh, if they decide to, parang, I guess, support for meetup locations. So, yun. So, kasi it's very difficult then to find actually meetup locations. So, yun, I think that's where, the ICT can help. So grants at saka ano, location kahit hindi siya location. I think yun, mas madali siya.
Agree ako
Yes.
dyan, no? Kasi yung location is really, ano, I was fortunate na when I was working for Globe, they allowed me to use the conference room na sa baba, no? Ako na lang
Hmm.
mag-provide ng pagkain.
KKB na lang. Yeah, oo. That's usually the ano no, the expenses lang naman talaga, the venue, and then the snacks, and then everything else is free. Like knowledge sharing is free, the speakers are free. So ano ba naman yung konting pang pa-venue, no? Okay. No, we're just gathering really. This is ano no, this is a venue for us to as communities, no. Maybe there are common things that we can ask support for. And as we said, I think we all agree, this will be more and more, no? There becomes more emerging tech like Gen AI. After Gen AI, baka magkaroon pa ng isa pang community na something XAI magkakaroon ulit. So, this will be more of a norm. So, since wala si Armelin, I'll go to Mike. Mike, what kind of support kaya from for DEP ang ma-ask natin?
Uh, yeah, siguro what I can say is that yung maganda kasi with with communities is that it's very informal, no? And yung fluidity ng informal organization, it allows them to really respond to the industry, no? Parang so that when things change, mas mabilis nilang nalalaman, nakaka-respond. So maraming advantages around it. In terms of support, I think engagement. So kasi na-mention na nila Sergio yung yung ibang mga important yung yung meeting venue ganyan and support sa mga grants ganyan. But I think also engagement with the community. Like for example this, it gives them more voice kasi syempre since informal sila, medyo kanya-kanya, grassroots nga no, pero having engagement, parang involving them sa mga uh, formal events, give them parang more voice and parang whatever they're driving in terms of yung message nila as part of their community or yung advocacy nila, it helps them parang uh, communicate better and maybe parang increase yung range nila. No? So maybe that's an area that the government can help out.
Thank you, Mike. Okay, anything else to add? Kay baka si Dylan meron din siyang request while we are all here. For free AAP membership.
No, actually, Dylan wrote
Automatic.
something in the Q&A. Dylan, go ahead.
Yeah, I think more on the belief of emerging technologies right now. We're looking at a very good trend that technologies are not meant to be kept inside silos of companies or laboratories, but it's really meant to be free and democratized. So I think these communities, our communities, would be best representative of those. But again, the problem there is we're all volunteers and but
Right.
yet we want it to be free. We want it to be for everyone. But I think um, government agencies would also love this because it helps them to gather the people, like their
Mhm.
countrymen, into a better, in a very exact place where they want them. And it's just
Yeah.
by nature that people gather by instinct. And I think just finding
Mm-hmm.
them in the right places and just funding them right there and then, we can flourish.
Yes. Yes, exactly. Exactly. So, what is that parang balance between you don't want necessarily to be a formal entity. You just want to keep the community, keep the experts and also the enthusiasts and future experts at bay, and be accessible also to government agencies, especially the ICT, which may be involved in uh, any policies or regulations around tech, especially the ones that we are facing right now. No, who will they turn to? not necessarily just the schools, right? Or in the streets, do they gather them one by one? So napaka-efficient to just have a community of experts there, right? And that is why I really feel that we have something here, no, together as network of communities. We can maybe make a pitch. If there is a grant for startup companies, right? Meron ng DICT niyan at saka DTI at saka DOST. Why not a grant for tech communities? Konting support lang naman, 'di ba? Para we can herd everyone to this. And then continue here in the Philippines, no, the practice. But anyway, that's one of the things that at least for me, that's my key takeaway. Now we have a lot of these things and values in common as communities, and I think we definitely have a voice, and we want to just find out if we may be heard, no? At least with our partners from the DICT, we know that they're very open to hearing our ideas. But let's see what we can do together. Thank you for your time again. I turn you over back to Sherwin.
Thank you very much, Michelle, and to our panelists. Before we officially close, I'd just like to invite again everyone to a couple more webinars that we're going to have next week. So this week we're ending week 2 of ICT Month, which is about Pilipinong Konektado. Next week, week 3 of the National ICT Month is about Gobyernong Epektibo. And we have two very interesting webinars also, next week. On Tuesday at 5 p.m., we are going to talk about adopting global AI standards. Our panelists will be talking about the standards we're adopting here in the Philippines, the EU AI Act, as well as ISO 42001, which is the AI management system, and the newly created document policy on AI safety, which the Philippines was fortunate to be part of. So that's going to be on Tuesday, Monday being holiday. That's Tuesday at 5 p.m. And then on Friday next week, again, a very interesting topic in partnership with Microsoft. This is about their program on democracy forward. Okay, as we know, well, a lot of nations, a lot of countries will be having elections this year and the next. We're going to have our own elections, our midterm elections next year. Democracy Forward talks about Microsoft's initiatives to combat disinformation, misinformation, deepfakes on AI that could affect our democracy, our voting process. So that's also going to be an interesting topic Friday next week at 5 p.m. You can go to our Facebook page, analytics.ai.ph, to register for those webinars. Okay. Now, to formally close, I'd like to call in one of our trustees from StratPoint, Sunny Carlos, to give the closing remarks. Sunny.
Okay. So yeah, thank you very much, Sherwin. Of course, thank you to the volunteer, no, to the community leaders, the panelists, no, as we all have seen and learned further, especially me, so it all, it's not just one group, that would bring progress, and innovation, especially technological innovation that we want in the Philippines, no. So thank you for hosting us today, sharing your community members, and for those not yet members, join kayo sa communities nila, no. It's Data Engineering Pilipinas, our user group Philippines, Gen AI, and Quantum. Of course, thank you also to the DICT, our co-hosts for this event and then this month's series of events, as Sherwin mentioned. Hope the attendees here also attend the sessions, very interesting sessions on the next 2 weeks. We hope everyone learned. It's all about the spirit of connection, collaboration. So again, the story of Michelle nga, and Sherwin, AAP also started as a small community and just parang kami na lang yung naging kuya ate community, na to guide the other newer communities, but that's our purpose, We wanted to align everyone, that to the enterprise, to the academe, to the government and all, no? And then that's it. So, and then lastly, before we go, very important message, we would like to extend an invite, no, to the upcoming National Analytics and AI Summit, no, on July 17, no. So this will be at SMX Aura, no. So at BGC, no, see our post, no, our registration details there, no. It would be great and appreciated also, no, if the community leaders here, no, invite nyo rin yung mga members nyo, no, to join that summit, no. So doon tayo maging one big eyeball, no, for us to meet, no, and everyone to meet yung community natin this next month sa July. If you want to contribute, meet people there, no, we have our own common agenda on technology and AI analytics, no. We will be happy to see you there. Again, it's going to be a long weekend, no. We're formally closing the event, no. Happy Friday, happy long weekend, and take a rest, no. Monday, wala naman pasok yung mga iba sa atin. And then see you all on Tuesday, no, sa next event natin. Thank you.
All
Thank
right. Thank
you.
you very much, Sunny. Thank you very much, everyone. Have a good evening. Have a good long weekend. And like Sunny said, see you on our Tuesday webinar. Thank you, everyone. Bye-bye.